Oh great, more blackface. I thought we were done with this. Welcome to episode 2 of Shock and Awe. I'm your host Don, filling in for Alfie, who's filling in for Clifford Bain's gag over at The Onion. Obviously, without Alfie it's a bit difficult to do a back and forth on these stories, so instead I'm just going to list off the dumbest headlines I've seen this week, and we're all going to have a really good time, okay? Okay. First up, seemingly in an effort to cash in on Gucci and Ralph Northam's well-informed blackface scandals, Katy Perry's throwing her shoes into the ring with these fucking abominations. Now, they have been pulled from the shelves, Katy Perry saying she's saddened that her shoes were being compared to painful images reminiscent of blackface, but the question remains, from Gucci's sweater, who the fuck okayed this, and where have they been hiding the last couple decades? For me, the issue isn't that it's blackface, because it's not. It's a shoe that skirts dangerously close to evoking blackface. The issue is its obliviousness to blackface as a thing that happened. While I've said before that maybe people ought not to point the finger at every almost racist thing that happens because it diminishes the meaning of the movement, pointing the finger at utter stupidity should be a goddamn sport because these things are fucking bullseye. Now, while we're on the subject of poor marketing, let's take a look at Reebok's latest campaign, #BeMoreHuman. Sounds good, right? It has a series of posters with well-known female models and athletes that say things like, if you work hard and put your effort into it, you can accomplish anything, and one person's light can electrify the world, and we can change the world every time we lead by example. All wonderful, empowering phrases for women, good stuff. Except, when this launched in Russia, it launched with this poster featuring Russian feminist campaigner Zelina Marshunkulova. I'm going to model that pronunciation. With her empowering quote, sit not on the needle of men's approval, sit on men's faces. Awesome. Now, there's nothing inherently wrong with this slogan, I think. It's just a tad inappropriate, more in line with, say, an article about some rising, loud and proud porn star like Charlotte Sartre, but I wouldn't know anything about that. Nevertheless, the issue raised a response from Miss Marshenkolova herself, saying on Facebook, God save Russia from me and from cunnilingus. We live in a world where advertising is a zone of chauvinism, and in every second, women are used as bait. Because it's time to stop worrying about what others think of you, stop being afraid of being not the good kind of woman, stop adjusting your life and your looks to what your partner or neighbour said. While I'm all about this, Reebok apparently weren't. Their marketing director Alexander Golofast resigning and the company issuing a statement saying that the slogan didn't meet their standards. So you probably won't be seeing this ad locally, especially since, last time I checked, face-sitting is still banned by the BBFC in British pornography anyway, much less advertising, but I wouldn't know anything about that. What I would know a little more about, though, is the cover story for February's Esquire magazine, touting an article detailing the life of a privileged white male living in America, because this is the voice we all need to hear amongst the clamouring for equality right now. Except that it may well be. Sarcasm aside, it's important to remember that this is only the first profile Esquire has released in a promised series, each delving into the lives of people, white, black, LGBT, male and female, living in America today, and what that experience is like from a case study style perspective. Now, this is important. From what I understand, the white male is Esquire's primary demographic, and hearing a story, any story, from a white male is going to cause a lot of eye-rolling from non-white male audiences. Fine, except that the magazine is, and potentially aware of this fact, using this to its advantage. Any white person trying to understand the struggles of LGBT or black folk is going to potentially need that jumping off point, that, and I hate to use the term, baseline with which to compare against. White males are the normal, and they're not going to begin to understand any other perspective unless it's compared to that familiar ground. This is, of course, normal behavior for anybody, but I believe it's being used tactfully here. Naturally, the backlash has been abundant, with people arguing, rightfully, that this article's release during Black History Month was pretty poor timing. I think that's fair. But I'd say that before any privileged white male can get on board with any other viewpoint, they need their own put into perspective. The lengthy article is linked below so you can make up your own minds. Personally, I see it as detailing a very trite, simple life that will come into sharper focus as the next in the series of articles is released. And I think that's okay. We just need to be patient. Esquire might be doing the world a unique favour. But moving on from journalists likely being taken out of context and news that maybe you shouldn't be as mad about as seems necessary, Pete Hegseth of Fox and Friends has said he hasn't washed his hands in 10 years. Tweeting in response to a fellow hand-washing denier, yes, it's a thing apparently, Hegseth said, "I'm with you on hand washing. I'm almost 70 and haven't had a cold or flu in years. Our bodies need some germs to learn how to grow to fight them. Too many germaphobes out there." Of course, later on he tweeted something about only joking and confirmed as such in an interview with USA Today, saying the line was just a piece of half-hearted commentary, but going on to criticize people for carrying around hand sanitizer and calling the behavior obsessive. At this point, whatever. He's given a voice to morons, the damage has been done. Just wash your fucking hands, please. That said though, if you can't shake the idea that you might be shaking hands with someone who just wiped their ass and not washed, there is a way out. Elon Musk, Iron Man enthusiast and founder of SpaceX Corporation, has unveiled the ticket price of packing up your home and moving to Mars. That's right, you can finally get away from this balls-crazy ball of mud and start a whole new life on the red planet for a measly $100,000, or thereabouts. Low enough that most people in advanced economies could sell their home and move to Mars, says the man himself. Sounds good, right? Well, yes, until Elon starts talking about the potential for RUDs. In a quote, he says, "Just planning on keeping the public informed about progress and setbacks. Will be some RUDs along the way, but excitement is guaranteed." Oh, sounds good. What the hell are RUDs? Well, RUDs is the term SpaceX uses to refer to rapid unscheduled disassemblies. It's a cute way of saying explosions. There are going to be some explosions, but they want you to stay excited. You might explode, but you might also be excited. Good job, Elon. Mars or bust, I'm all for it. Planet-sized professional toilet man Alex Jones has to give a 5-hour deposition in court because of his absurd theories about the Sandy Hook killings. This is great. So if you don't already know, Alex Jones is an ass clown who peddles ridiculous conspiracy theories via his platform InfoWars, a channel or a website or some shit where people tune in to munch garbage and spew it back out again.
What do I do, Lord? Destroy the child. They're demons. I know your mustache is cool.
Destroy
you got
the
little
child.
gold frame glasses. I will go to hell.
Child.
I'm animated. My heart's big.
Start your journey to super male vitality today.
Child.
I like to fight, too. We're gonna stomp your ass into the ground, you little communist piece of trash. I'm a human, and I'm coming. Humanity's gonna come together. Ah! Ah! We know we're under attack. So I never expected Trump charging into a goblin's nest to not get some goblin vomit and slop and blood on him. I don't want to see him kissing goblins. Spider ghosts are at least 25 years old. They're bashing it because I don't like gay people. I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
Now, despite most of Alex Jones' platforms being taken down, he's still feeling the sting in this new court case that stipulates he must put forward his theories before the families of the victims of one of America's worst shootings, wherein 20 children between 6 and 10 years old were shot, as well as 6 members of staff. Jones, however, believes the whole thing to be a hoax, claiming that nobody died at Sandy Hook and that all those interviewed were merely actors. President Trump, yeah, we're going there, had once previously appeared on the show where he had a lot of positive things to say about Jones and his work. He since said nothing about the host, though, despite being asked repeatedly to acknowledge the 26 dead at the hands of gunman Adam Lanza. In spite of this bollocks, Jones is being sued by both the families of the deceased and by the first responding FBI agent on the scene, saying they have received death threats and harassment ever since Alex Jones made this a thing. So, fuck that guy. What else have I got? Oh yeah. The Disney Fox buyout will lead to some 10,000 job losses. Great stuff if you want to see Wolverine punch Ant-Man. I'm all for it, but that number's always going to be with me. Also, game developer/publisher Activision Blizzard will be letting go of some 800 employees, despite the company's CEO Bobby Kotick telling shareholders that the company had just gone through a record year of earnings. So that's nice. And while this is all happening, journalists at Buzzfeed have decided to unionize amid massive layoffs, saying, "We want to remain spry and competitive, but we reject the argument that we must choose between freelancing in a hellscape gig economy for vampirical platforms or submitting to the whims of a corporation that botches basic HR tasks." Brilliant quote, much likes, very happy. Just remember this the next time you think your manager is doing you a favor, okay? They're not. They have more important things to think about. Don't forget. And lastly, since we just mentioned Disney, what the hell is this thing? What is it? Will Smith as the Genie. I know that they can't exactly revive Robin Williams, God fucking rest, but this is fucking ugly. I can't speak for Will Smith's performance, but the CGI here is fucking terrifying. You've given us a monkey's paw, Disney. That's not a race thing, it's a wish thing. He looks like he'd botch your wishes and grin at you the entire time, you know? It's bad. They got a few months to clean this up, so who knows, might be fine, but yeah, how do you feel? And how do you feel about any of these stories? Lucky for those of you who are still tuned in, I'm done. These are all the stories. It's over for another week. But my question to you is, would you be taking that $100,000 trip off the planet if you could? Were things that bad this week? Let us know in the comments below. And while you're at it, hit that subscribe button. Let us know how much you love us. I've been your host, Don, and this has been another horrible week on planet Earth. See you next Sunday.